Okay, boys and girls, we're going to start Math Chapter 9, Lesson 1, and we're going to be learning about line plots. And in 5th grade, we are looking at how line plots can help us find data with fractions. Here it says average, and we're not going to be doing averages. That's a 6th grade standard. So we're going to be focusing on using line plots with fractions only. So whenever it asks for questions about average, as you can see, I X'd them off. So we'll be skipping that part. And here I changed the question. So we're going to be finding the total amount for each of these different cups of water. So here it says they're measuring different amounts of water into beakers for an experiment. And here is the list of different measurements. So we're going to use this data in our line plot, and then we're going to find the amount for a 1/4 cup of water, a 1/2 cup of water, and 3/4 cups of water. So you probably have done this before, where you are finding how many in each section and recording it. So we look for the value of a 1/4 cup, and then we mark it on the chart. We draw an X above it for each time it's recorded. So for this one, this one's already done for us. So we have a 1/4 cup, so that's marked here. So I like to cross it off as I go just to make sure I got them all. Now we have a 1/2 cup, so we're going to add 1/2 cup here. 3/4 cup was added here. A 1/4 cup was right here, and another 1/4 cup right there. Another 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup, 3/4 cup, a 1/4 cup, and then 3/4 cup. So now you can see on our graph we have all of the amounts listed, and we put it in our line plot. Okay, so now we're going to take it a step further. Step 1, we're going to count the number of cups for each amount. So we're going to go here and we're going to count up each amount. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for 1/4, we have 7 times on our chart. For half, we're going to count, we have 2, and for 3/4, we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3. Step 2 is to find the total amount of water in all the beakers that contain a 1/4 cup of water. So we know that there are 7, as it says it right here, there are 7 beakers with a 1/4 cup of water. So there are 7/4, or 7/4, which also equals 1 3/4 cups of water. Step 2, now we're going to find the total amount of water used in all the beakers that contain a 1/2 cup of water. So we see that there are 2 beakers with a 1/2 cup of water. So there are 2 halves, or 2 2s, which is 2 halves, or 1 cup. Okay, so step 4, we're going to find the total amount of water in all the beakers that contain 3/4 cup of water. So when we count those up, we see 1, 2, 3. That is 3 times 3/4. That's what we did here. We also did that here with the other ones, but this is just showing it in a different way. So 3 times 3/4 is equal to 9/4, or 2 1/4. And again, how I got 2 1/4, remember we're dividing and we get 1 remainder 4, because the 4 goes there and the remainder goes there. That's how I got 2 1/4. Okay, so then if we want to find the total amount in all the beakers, we add these together. 1 3/4 plus 1 plus 2 1/4, and we get a total of 5. Okay, and that's how you would figure that out. We're going to skip step 6 because we're not doing average. So on your math page, if there is questions about averages, just skip that one and continue on. Okay? All right. So next page. Rain divides 3 2-ounce bags of rice into smaller bags. The first bag is divided into bags weighing 1/6 ounce each. The second bag is divided into bags weighing 1/3 ounce each, and the third bag is divided into bags weighing 1/2 ounce each. Find the number of 1/6, 1/3, and 1/2 ounce rice bags. Then graph the results on the line plot. So, we're going to do that. So first, we're going to write a title for our line plot. So our line plot's right over here, and we want to think, well, what are we trying to find out? It should describe what we're counting. What are we counting? We're counting the amount of the weight, how much the rice bag weighs. So that would be our title. Weight of rice bags. And it's in ounces, so you want to make sure that we're doing that. Okay. Okay, so now it says to label 1/3, 1/6, 1/3, and 1/2 on the line plot. So if you can see, they did that over here. And again, you want to make sure that it's showing that it's in order from least to greatest. So 1/6 being the least, and then 1/2 being the greatest. Okay, so now we're going to use division to find the number of 1/6 ounce bags. So if he starts with a total of 2 ounces for this first bag. So he's going to divide 2 into 1/6. So remember, that is equal to 2 and 2 times 6 because we flip these and then we change that to a multiplication sign. So that's how we get 12. Here again, we're going to flip. So then that would be 3/1, and then we multiply. So we get 2 times 3 is 6. And then here we have 2 divided by 1/2. Because that's our third bag, we're going to, again, change it to a multiplication sign and flip it. Okay, and then now we're going to do step 4, which is the fun part. We're going to draw an X above 1/6, 1/3, and 1/2 to show the number of rice bags. So the number of rice bags for 1/6 is 12. So we're going to draw 12 X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here for the 1/3 ounce, we're going to draw 6 because it has 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then for the 1/2 ounce bag, we are going to divide it into, or we're going to draw 4 X's. Okay, and that is how you do line plots with fractions. Okay, last example is going to be the share and show. So we're going to use the data to complete the line plot, then we'll answer the questions. So the situation here is Liliana needs to buy beads for necklace. The beads are sold by mass, so that means how much it weighs. She sketches the design to determine what beads are needed and then writes down their sizes. The sizes are shown below. So as you can see here, it's labeled because we're finding the mass. That means how much it weighs of beads in grams, and then we have our different fractions that we see here. And again, they are in order from least to greatest. Okay, so then we're going to go through, some of it's been done for us, but we're just going to make sure. So we have 2/5 of a gram, so we're going to mark an X. Another 2/5, 4/5, 2/5, 1/5, another 1/5, 3 grams, 3/5, 4/5, 1/5, oops, 1/5 right there, 2/5, 3/5. Did I do that one already? 1, 2, 3. Nope, 3/5 and 2/5. Okay, so let me just quickly erase that one so we don't get confused. Okay. So now we're looking at the combined mass of the beads with a mass of 1/5 of a gram. So we're looking at, if that's the question, 1/5 of a gram, we're going to be looking for 1/5 of a gram. So 1/5 of a gram, we have 1, 2, 3. So think there are 3 X's above the 1/5 on the line plot. So the combined mass of the beads is 3/5, which is this, or, oh, I already did that, 3/5 of a gram. So the answer is, I want to erase it. Okay, so 3/5 or 3/5 gram. Okay, so what's the combined mass of all the beads with 2/5 of a gram? So we're going to need to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 times 2/5 of a gram. So if we're going to multiply 5 times 2/5 of a gram, we're going to put it over 1, multiply across, we have 10 over 5, which is equal to 2. So the answer is 2. What's the combined mass of all the beads on the necklace? So right now we know that 3/5 is we know the answer to this answer, or this one, because it's 3/5. We know that this answer, it's combined, it equals 2. So we have to figure out 3/5 and 4/5. So we're gonna start with 3/5, and we're gonna multiply that times 3 because we have 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 over 1. 9 equals 9/5. Or, and then we would simplify. So we're going to divide. One and 4/5, and that's only for the 3/5 part. So here, let's see, let's make this a little easier and organized. And what we're going to do is we're going to write our answers here. So this equals 3/5. When I combine all these, that's what I get. This, when I combine all these, I get 2. When I combine all these, I get 1 and 4/5. And then now we're going to do 4/5. So I'm going to count. I have 1, 2. So that's 4/5 times 2 over 1. So multiply across, and we get 8 over 5. And then we are going to find the correct fraction. So that's an improper fraction, and I get 1 and 3/5. So this equals 1. 3/5. So then now what I'm going to do is make a little more room. And then I'm going to look at this. It says the combined mass of all the beads. So that means I'm going to need to add, because combine needs to add. So I'm going to add 2. Actually, well, 3/5, because that's plus 2 plus 1 4/5 plus 1 3/5. And again, that is because I'm adding up 3/5 here plus 2 plus 1 4/5 and 1 3/5 because I am finding the combined mass of all the beads of the necklace. Okay, so again, to do this, because we're doing a addition problem, remember you can add the whole numbers first. So I'm going to add 2 plus 1 plus 1. So that is going to get me 4. And then now you guys are so lucky. These all have common denominators. So you know that the 5 is going to be on the bottom. You don't have to find the lowest common denominator. Then remember, you're going to add 3 plus 4 plus 3, and that's 7 plus 3 is 10. So we have 4 10/5. This is an improper fraction. So we're going to convert that fraction, and in order to do that, remember we go like this, and the answer is 2. So this becomes a 2. So now we're adding, so that's gone because that's becoming 2. So we're adding 4 plus 2, and we get 6. So the combined mass of all the beads on the necklace is 6 grams. Yay, that was a long problem, but that is how you do it. And I think that should be pretty easy for you guys. So today, instead of PMT, I'm going to have you work on your small math book page. Oops, let's see what page. P169. Again, skip the parts where it asks you for average, but you do need to find everything else. And that includes combined masses or combined of each number. You're also going to do the back side of that math page, which is P170. So that is your assignment. Please turn it in when you're done. Again, it's in your small practice book. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope it makes sense. Okay, have fun.